a noisy video on leeks in cheese sauce. So I need to do leeks in cheese sauce. I'll pull out just a little bit. So I need to do leeks in cheese sauce, and I've forgotten my camera holder, so it'll have to be handheld. So leeks in cheese sauce. I'm going to, they want it to function tonight, so I'm going to have to, but I'm going to do it in a different way to kind of have a play around with things, and I'm going to put the leeks and cheese sauce on the plate rather than in a serving dish for them to help themselves. So we're going to see if we can cook them in a different way, because there's not that many people and I can have a bit of a play about. So potentially I'm working out a recipe for the future, which I might use at some kind of stage, so I don't need to kind of work out how much leek and how much cheese sauce per portion, because I can do it now with a bit of faffing around. So in the pan there is about 5.5 kilos of leeks, which I have shredded and washed, and there was about 500 grams worth of waste on the leeks as well. So there's about 600 grams, about 6 kilos of leeks to start off with. So that's kind of like a base of what we kind of know, how many leeks per portion. We'll see once we've cooked it all, how many leeks per portion. So wash them 3 times, get rid of any dirt, and I've used the tops as well, the tops of the leeks, because I like the flavour of the tops as well. It's quite peppery, and it's just drained off the water, or most of it, and it's cooking down in the pan. So we're kind of sauteing it in the pan, so it's only really cooking in the steam from the water that I washed them in. I'm going to put a little bit of seasoning in. So we've got some salt, just to kind of start it off, although I'm going to probably rely on the cheese sauce being kind of quite salty as the kind of seasoning. But my idea is that we will cook leeks down so they lose all the volume and all the water kind of comes out of them. Cool them down, drain that excess water off that comes out of them. Someone's going to evaporate, but there'll be still quite a bit of water in the bottom of the pan. You'll see when we kind of get there, and then I'll use that, drain it off, squeeze out the excess juice, and then we'll use that water that comes out of the leeks to make the cheese sauce. And we've got a couple of options with that. We've got this one, which you just add water to, and then we've got these, which you just add milk to. So, and then I've also, if we need to up the cheese as well, I've got some hard Italian cheese. So, do I need to do anything else? Do I need to add anything else at the moment? No. So we're going to cook these down. They're going to lose lots of volume. Water's going to come out of them. We're going to strain that water off. That water is then going to be the basis for the cheese sauce. And then we're going to cool the leeks down as well. So we're going to cook them and then cool them down. It's quite cold in the kitchen today. Well, it's winter. It's always cold in the kitchen this time of year. So the leeks will cool down quite quickly, and then we'll reheat the leeks back up in the cheese sauce, which we're going to make from that water in there. So it's a big pan to start off with. We'll probably end up with a pan a quarter of that size. So that's kind of quite it. Yes, that's it for the moment. So when it's cooked down, I'll show you what they look like when they're cooked, and then we'll strain them out onto a tray, so a thin layer, and then we'll cool down a lot quicker. That's pretty straightforward, I think. I know what I'm talking about. So hopefully that kind of translates into, yeah, so if I think I know what I'm talking about and I've described it in a way that I understand it, hopefully you will be able to as well. So the leeks are now cooked down and they've lost lots of their volume, so I'm going to strain them. You can't really see them because of all the steam coming out of them. There you go, that's a little better. So they're cooked enough. Then I'm going to strain them through that over a pan, so that's going to collect some of the water, and then we'll cool that down on that tray, if that makes sense. But I'll pause and we'll be back shortly. Right, so the leeks are draining into that pan. I don't know if you can hear. No, not really, we can't really hear anything. So I'm going to now transfer those leeks, onto that tray there, which will be a bigger surface area, so it means will cool down a lot quicker. If you leave them in a big pile like that, it's going to take longer for them to cool down, and they will start to lose their colour and flavour. But anyway, so I don't want to do that, so I'll pause again, and we're back when we're spread out on the tray. Right, so leeks are now spread out on that tray and cooling down quite rapidly in this kitchen. I'm going to move them across off the top of the oven and onto another surface where they'll cool down really kind of quite quickly. I don't know if I'm going to squeeze them dry. I think I'll leave them like that, and then as you can see in this pan there's a good 1.5 litres worth of liquid, and that's what I'm going to use to make the sauce. I think I'm going to wing it. To be honest, I'm going to wing it. I'm going to make the sauce up, maybe use some of that. I don't really be sticking my finger in it, but we'll use that. It should be nice and leaky. It's really nice, is that? That's nice and sweet and leaky. So that'd be really nice to make the sauce out of. But I have to use milk if I'm going to use that, and I don't think I've got enough of that to thicken up a litre of sauce. I don't know. We'll see how we go. I'll have a think, and we'll be back when we're ready to cook it. Reheat it again. Right, so I have made a thick cheese sauce using that stuff and the water from the leeks. So that's made a nice thick cheese sauce there, like that. You can see that's nice and thick. And then I've heated up the leeks with a little bit of the water that we drained out of them. So they're nice and hot now. So the idea is that we'll pour that into there. So I'll pour half of it in first, which will be half a litre, and then we'll kind of see if that's some kind of right the idea. So I'll pause and I'll be back when I've added that, because I can't do two things at once while I'm holding the camera. Right, so I've decided that leeks of all the cheese sauce has been used. So that's a litre of cheese sauce for all those leeks, and then also, it's not just quite as cheesy as I'd like, I'm going to put in that packet of hard Italian cheese as well. And then we're going to turn the heat off because we don't want the cheese to split. But that will be perfect, I think. Nice and cheesy. And we've turned off the heat. We'll just put the lid on, and then that'll keep warm for 10 minutes and be perfect for when I'm going to serve it. But I think that's about spot on. Quick taste, using my fingers, I shouldn't do. No, that's spot on. There we go, easy peasy. There we go, so cheese is melted. A little bit thinner though. I would have liked it a bit thicker, but I don't think I could get it any thicker than that. But it's worked, it's nice. It's nice and cheesy. Now the cheese is melted. I think that'll be really nice. We'll see how many portions we get out of that, but I'll do the recipe in the description. How much leeks, for how much sauce, for how much cheese, for how many portions.